I never thought silence could be so loud. My name is Ryan, and I destroyed the best thing in my life without ever meaning to, not with a dramatic fight, not with a planned affair. Just with a series of small choices that felt harmless at the time. I met Sarah when we were 24. She was a graphic designer. I was finishing my MBA. We moved in together after a year, got engaged at 27, married at 29. Everyone said we were the stable couple, the ones who had it figured out. We didn't fight much. We split bills fairly, we talked about kids someday. On paper, we were perfect. But somewhere around year 6, I started feeling invisible. Not to her exactly, to myself, I'd gained weight. My job in finance was steady but suffocating. Sarah was busy with a new client, working late most nights. We'd become roommates who kissed goodnight out of habit. I didn't blame her. I just felt like I'd disappeared into routine. Then I got assigned to work with a consultant named Michelle. She was 31, confident, traveled constantly for work. She remembered details about things I said. She laughed at my jokes. When we'd work late, she'd ask about my weekend plans, my hobbies, things I'd forgotten I even had. It felt like being seen again. It started with messages about work, then memes, then venting about our days. I told myself it was just a friendship. Sarah never asked about Michelle, so I never brought her up. That should have been my first warning sign. The fact that I was protecting something I claimed was innocent. One night, Sarah went to visit her sister for the weekend. Michelle texted asking if I wanted to grab dinner since we were both working on the same pitch. I said yes. We went to a wine bar downtown. We talked for 4 hours. She touched my arm when she laughed. I felt something I hadn't felt in years, wanted, interesting, alive. Nothing physical happened that night, but I drove home feeling guilty anyway. I deleted some of our messages before I walked in the door. I don't know why. Maybe because I knew that if Sarah read them, she'd hear the tone, the closeness. The version of me I was with Michelle that I wasn't with her anymore. 2 weeks later, Michelle invited me to her hotel room to finish a presentation. It was 11 at night. I knew what I was doing. I told Sarah I'd be home late. I went anyway. We ordered room service, drank wine, talked about our lives. She told me I seemed lonely. I didn't deny it. She kissed me. I kissed her back. We slept together, and the entire time, some part of me felt like I was watching myself from outside my body, knowing I was making a choice I couldn't undo. I went home at 2 in the morning. Sarah was asleep. I showered and got into bed. She didn't stir. The next morning, I made coffee like always. She asked how the project went. I said fine. We moved on. For 3 weeks, I lived a double life. I'd see Michelle twice a week. I'd come home to Sarah. I felt split in half. With Michelle, I felt exciting and new. With Sarah, I felt safe and guilty. I didn't know how to reconcile the two. I didn't even try. I just kept going. Then Sarah asked to see my phone, not because she suspected anything. Her phone was dead and she wanted to check the weather. I hesitated for half a second too long. She saw it in my face. She didn't yell. She just took my phone out of my hand and opened my messages. She read for maybe 2 minutes. Then she set it down on the counter, looked at me and said, "I need you to leave." I tried to explain. She held up her hand. She told me she didn't want to hear my voice. She said I could come back tomorrow to get my things, but tonight I needed to go. I asked if we could talk. She repeated herself, quieter this time. Leave. I stayed at a hotel. I texted her apologies. She didn't respond. I called. She didn't answer. The next day I came home to boxes, my clothes, my books, my laptop. Everything packed neatly by the door. She wasn't there. Her sister was. She told me Sarah was staying somewhere else and that I had 30 minutes to take my things and go. I moved into a short-term rental. I tried to reach Sarah for weeks. She blocked me. I sent letters. She returned them unopened. I asked her friends to talk to her. They told me to stop. I wanted a chance to apologize, to explain, to fight for us. She didn't give me one, and slowly I realized that was her right. Michelle and I tried dating for about 2 months. It fell apart quickly. Without the secrecy, without the thrill of being someone's escape, we had nothing. She moved to another city for work. We stopped talking. The divorce was finalized 10 months later. Sarah didn't ask for much. She kept the apartment. I kept the debt. She moved on faster than I expected. A year later, I saw on social media that she was with someone new. He looked kind. They were traveling together. She looked happy. I stared at the picture for a long time and then I blocked her, not out of anger, out of respect. I had no right to watch her life anymore. It's been 3 years now. I'm 35. I live alone in a smaller place across town. My career hasn't gone anywhere. I've dated, but nothing sticks. Most of the time, I feel like I'm still trying to understand what I did and why. I didn't cheat because I hated Sarah. I cheated because I felt invisible and someone made me feel seen. I thought I could have both, the safety of home and the excitement of something new. I didn't realize that wanting both meant I deserved neither. The hardest part isn't the loneliness. It's knowing I had something real and I traded it for something temporary. Sarah wasn't perfect, our marriage wasn't perfect, but it was real. It was built on years of trust. And I destroyed it in weeks because I was bored, because I wanted to feel special. I don't tell this story for sympathy, I tell it because I think a lot of people are where I was. Comfortable but numb, loved but unseen. And it's easy to convince yourself that a little attention from someone new isn't dangerous, that you can control it. That it's not really betrayal if you still love your partner, but betrayal isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, it's the messages you delete, the nights you lie about. The moment you choose to protect someone else's feelings over your partner's trust. Sarah never shouted at me, she never called me names, she just removed me from her life. And that silence taught me more than any fight ever could. It taught me that love isn't just a feeling, it's a choice you make every single day. And the moment you stop choosing it, you lose the right to keep it. I don't think she thinks about me anymore. I hope she doesn't. She deserves a life where I'm just a chapter she's moved past. As for me, I'm still learning to live with what I did. Some days are easier than others, but I carry it because that's what consequences are, not punishment, just truth. The truth of who you become when you stop valuing what you have, and I can't undo that. I can only make sure I never forget it.